My name is Katja Brunbiers. I'm the co-lead of the Transformational Sustainability Science Group at the University of Freiburg. And welcome to the Evidence from the Field series. In today's story, we learn about the key steps an institutional transdisciplinary interface manager took to carefully prepare the city-university partnership and their first project, which laid the foundation for programmatic sustainability and climate justice work going forward. The first step was to learn from other experienced institutional transdisciplinary interface managers. And the second step was to actually heed their advice. And this was less is more, meaning do few projects, but do them well, and take it in strides, meaning build a solid city-university partnership first, in order then to be able to expand this into a city-university community partnership, as the latter takes time and trust to develop. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Braden Kay. I'm currently the Extreme Heat and Community Resilience Manager at the Governor's Office of Land Use and Climate Innovation at the state of California. And I'm here talking today about my role as an ITIM and as a PTIM at the city of Tempe as the Sustainability and Resilience Director at the city. So for the next phase of my efforts at doing this TIM work at the city of Tempe, we had the opportunity to create a climate action plan. And through a partnership that Arizona State University had in city university partnerships, Dr. Lauren Withacombe-Keeler was able to bring down Fletcher Beaudoin and Michelle Krim, who had been doing this city university partnership work between Portland State University and the city of Portland. And so they were able to come and give me some very early advice on how to do this work. And what was really interesting is the long-term advice they gave me two really important pieces of advice. One piece of advice was, don't do what we did and do a 218 action plan. Do as few actions as you possibly could. And so when we designed the new climate action plan, we had three focus areas: energy, transportation, and newly introduced extreme heat. And then we had 4 actions within each. And so it was a 12-action climate action plan. I liked to call it a training wheels climate action plan. And really, one of the things that allowed us to do was really focus on partnerships. And so if you do 218 actions, that's a lot of partnerships, and that's a lot of work to keep track of. If you have fewer actions, you're able to actually invest in the partnerships and invest in the projects and have some focus to the work you're doing. And what we always said is, hey, it's 12. If we were able to have the resources and partnerships to do more, then we can add to it. But let's at least start with these 12. In retrospect, we actually, for the Climate Action Plan update, whittled it down to 3 main actions to really try to maintain that focus of the partnerships and that focus in the work. The other piece of advice they gave us is they really thought that it was important to bring racial equity and the voices of the people that were being harmed most by climate change into the actions and into the projects. One of the things we knew, though, was that our first climate action plan actually was part of the Global Covenant of Mayors, and the climate action plan had to get done within a 3-year period. And some of the trust building and the partnerships in communities and the things that we needed for really authentic city university community partnership were going to take longer than the climate action plan, the first climate action plan that we had. So we did our initial climate action plan. We were very clear about which partners were involved in each action. So we listed what Arizona State University could do to help each action. We listed what different nonprofits could do to support the action. We listed what the electrical utilities could do to support the action. And we laid out for the first time what types of actions we could be taking for extreme heat. So for instance, we listed that there needed to be a deeper investment in the urban forestry master plan. We also said there needed to be an emergency management program that there hadn't been before. And what this allowed us for is, because we had emergency management program in there, when Katja Brunders came to the city and said, I want to work on the intersection of sustainability, resilience, and emergency management, it was already in our first climate action plan, and that allowed us to have some buy-in from the city to work with Katja and develop a bigger project and program around how the city was doing cutting-edge emergency community-oriented emergency management work. The urban forestry work allowed us to actually hire the state's first official urban forester, Richard Atkins, and really start to invest deeper into our urban forestry master plan. We also had other actions, including Green Construction Code, in which we worked very closely with some of the facility folks at Arizona State University, not as much as an academic partnership, but more of a professional partnership with the university staff. And then we also worked on green stormwater infrastructure, and some of that work was really supported by the Sustainable Cities Network at Arizona State University. So the first climate action plan, we laid out 4 clear actions for extreme heat, and we were able to move some of that work forward. The challenge was, as soon as this first climate action plan was finished, we heard from the city, we heard from residents, that this climate action plan was very institutional. It was really what the city was willing to do, what the university could do, what the electric utilities could do, but it wasn't a climate action plan that you could pick up and a community member would be like, this is what I can do to lower my carbon in my home and be a part of the energy transition, or this is what I can do for sustainable mobility in my own actions, or this is what I can do for extreme heat in my own actions. It was really a institutional climate action plan, and a climate action plan that represented city-university partnerships. What was being called for was actually a climate action plan that represented city-university community partnerships, and that's what we went out to do in our climate action plan update. To remember, this first climate action plan was an opportunity to go from knowing what we wanted to work on, which we learned in our first phase, to now actually having a set of projects to work on: urban forestry, extreme heat, green construction code, resilient energy hubs, a bunch of, and it basically allowed the university to understand more of the things the city was willing to work on, and helped us frame a lot of those initial partnerships, including some initial partnerships on both emergency management and extreme heat.
Thank you, Braden, for sharing your story. And to our viewers, we hope you enjoyed the story of the institutional transdisciplinary interface manager who helped the city-university partnership collaborate on a first, and for the city, highly relevant project as they co-created an evidence-informed climate action plan. That experience also served the institutional transdisciplinary interface manager as a test case for learning how to do good transdisciplinary research between scientists and staff on issues that matter to the region. So stay tuned for the next phase of Braden's story of growing the transdisciplinary interface within a city.